a lot of Requiem.
A Dani Moonstar action figure!
And still no appearances from me. Wait, what? You're right, it's time for another review. Hit the music. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Blugoblin here. Thank you for joining me for my comic book review for this week of March 2013. I want to thank you all again for joining me, as always. I also want to, as always, give special plugs out to my student, TheMtVernonKid, to Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, to everybody who works there, and to all my friends, Deadpoolzilla, Brandon Hex, cannot forget you, Hex. And especially to my girlfriend Jennifer, Lenora 2003, and Lenora's Crafts. Love you, baby. We're gonna go through a long series of books. We're gonna start with Marvel and end with DC. Let's just go ahead and get started. We're gonna get started off with a book that did not have a foil cover this week. Yay! All right. We're going to start with Age of Ultron, Book 2. Brian Michael Bendis and Brian Hitch continue the writing and the artwork in here. And here, it's more of the same stuff that we got in issue 1. World's gone to shit, and there's just depression after depression after depression. Everywhere you go, you just go, oh. Or oh damn, it's just stuff like that all over the place. But in here, we get to see what Black Widow looks like in this time period. Damn, it's just damn. We get to find out what how Spider-Man got taken, and more or less, that's the main storytelling. That's the main focus of the story in this particular issue. But Tony Stark especially is showing that all signs of just giving up. He's like, everybody's asking, what do we do now? And he's just like, survive. That's all we can do. And there are some heroes. Excuse me. There are some heroes that just ain't buying that crap. It's like there's got to be a way out of this. There's got to be a way to win this war. Even though Ultron has, in this timeline, I'm still convinced in my heart that this is an alternate timeline. This isn't happening anywhere in the current Marvel universe. This has to be a different timeline. It has to be. Otherwise, it's either really late or kind of early. One or the other. But it's just somebody finally says it's time to come up with a plan. I'm not going to ruin that, but it's just more or less the same amount of depression that the first issue had. It's just with some backstory as to there was some backstory on how Spider-Man got captured. I kind of find it hard to believe that he actually slept through the beginning of the invasion. I kind of go, really, at that. But for what it was, this was really good. Now, I appreciate Brian Hitch's artwork in this issue much better than I did in issue 1. because, you know, that's my biggest pet peeve with Bryan Hitch, is that he constantly is drawing the heroes to look much older than they actually are. But the artwork in here does work. It does work for this kind of story. I am really impressed with where it's going so far. It's not the best thing I've ever read from Marvel, you know, but, you know, I've read better than this, and again, I've read worse. It's not an average read. It's above average, just not perfect. I only recommend it for big, hardcore fans of Ultron, because this is an alternate timeline, so it really doesn't... This really shouldn't... The casual comic book fans should probably skip out on this, because, you know, I'm a big Ultron mark. You know, that's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to Ant-Man getting on the silver screen, because if we get Ant-Man, I know we're going to get Hank Pym in the beginning passing the torch to Scott Lang, but I swear, we get Hank Pym on the silver screen, one way or another, we're going to get Ultron on the big screen. I'm a big Ultron mark. That's why I wanted to jump on board with this. But I was thinking it was going to start with Ultron invading and him starting to conquer the world. He pretty much already has right now. So I think I've rambled on enough about this. A good read, but I only recommend it for the big Ultron fans. Otherwise, I don't think you really need it. Alright, next up, The Fearless Defenders, issue number 2. The Dani Moonstar action figure. I want to open it. I want the figure. Colin Bunn and Sliney continue the story here. I gotta say, that cover is just boss. I love the artwork and I love the detail, especially with how Valkyrie's armor shines. But yeah, this has been really, really well done, and we're only 2 issues in, and I'm already falling in love with this series. I mean, it's just very, very nicely done. Dani Moonstar comes into the picture, but I will minorly spoil this. Dani's in the book, but she's not joining the Fearless Defenders yet. Now, why she's not joining, I'm not going to spoil that. We get to see more of a development in the story between Misty Knight, Valkyrie, and Dr. Annabelle. Remember, Dr. Annabelle is the archaeologist who gave that infamous lip lock to Valkyrie in the first issue, and that photo is buzzing everywhere all over the internet. Even one of my closest friends on the internet has that as her avatar or her icon picture or whatever you want to call it. But that kiss is just everywhere. You can't escape that kiss. And they talk about it in here. They talk about it. And, you know, Annabelle goes up to Valkyrie. She says, "Look, I need to talk to you about that kiss." Valkyrie's like, "Don't dwell on it." She said, "Do you think you're the first person, man or woman, who's rewarded my saving them with a kiss?" So obviously this scenario's happened before with Valkyrie, and you get that feeling that she's just kind of brushing it aside, and you can just tell by the dialogue from Annabelle that it kind of hurt her, because seriously, she's just crushing on Valkyrie, and it's so damn cute. And her attitude toward Misty Knight, kind of poking fun at her about it, it's just funny. I chuckle a little bit at it. I mean, it's great storytelling, good storytelling, and you get to see how the team might have possibly been put together. It was under Valkyrie's choosing, and I believe that's how this issue put it. And the last page, I will not dare ruin it for you. Get this issue and give it a read. You will not be disappointed. I promise. This was really good. We're only 2 issues in, and I'm already loving the hell out of this. Thanks, Marvel. Thanks, Bun. Thanks, Sliney. Y'all got a hit here. Keep it up. Alright, next up for Marvel, we got Uncanny X-Men number 3. Yeah, Bendis. Bendis, I don't know what's going on, man, but you keep nailing it. Chris Bachalo, I gotta be honest, Bachalo's artwork keeps getting better for me in this series. But man, Bendis, Jesus, where were you for the X-Men when we really needed you during the Fraction run? Well, to be fair, Fraction wasn't alone in butchering the X-Men. Mike Carey and Ed Brubaker had a little bit of a hand in it too, along with a certain Tracer. Yeah, him. But yes, Bendis, thank you. You are one of the people. You are just one of the people who actually reignited the fire in my heart for the X-Men. Fantastic work here. We got Scott Summers' team of X-Men confronted in Australia by the Avengers. And we're talking bigwigs here. We got Captain America, Captain Marvel, you know, Carol, Hawkeye, Iron Man, the freaking Hulk. And I love it. One of Scott Summers' students in this issue points out something that I was thinking before I even read the statement. Why is the Hulk in armor? It makes no sense. Seriously, Marvel, I'm asking you this. Why does the Hulk need to wear body armor now? Why? It really doesn't make any sense. It's like putting a bulletproof vest on Superman. It doesn't make sense. But, yeah, it's a hell of a tense confrontation, especially between Cap and Scott. Scott, I swear to God, his costume looks like Racer X. Looks like Racer X meets fucking Tron. His costume, I'm sorry, Marvel, but Cyclops' costume in this book is laughably ridiculous. That's just my opinion. God, it's ridiculous. Every time I see Scott Summers with the X on his face, I'm thinking of Racer X. I'm thinking I want to go see reruns of Speed Racer. I'm being dead serious. Surely you've had to have other designs for his new costume. Probably better than this. But, yeah, we get to see some really, really big tension building up, and especially, oh God, and Hawkeye, Jesus, his temper is really pushed in here. Emma, of course, trying to make excuses for Scott. The Avengers are all saying, Scott, you killed Charles Xavier. We're here to arrest you. And Scott and Emma are just constantly spilling out bullshit after bullshit after bullshit excuse to say, oh, we didn't kill Charles, he died in battle, or I did what I had to do, or it wasn't my fault, I was under control by the Phoenix. The facts are the facts, Scott, you killed Xavier. Okay? This series is doing an incredible job villainizing Scott Summers. And, oh man, Illyana, Jesus. Who pissed in her Kool-Aid? Scott's secretly telling Illyana, is like, okay, when Cap moves his shield down, she's like, kill him? No, don't kill him. She's like, I could so kill him. God damn, Illyana. We know you're crazy, but that's just flat out insane. You got bloodlust to kill Captain America? Ugh. But still, really great issue. We get to see who it was that tipped off the Avengers. I'm not going to ruin that. Just good stuff. But the cliffhanger at the end of this book, I'm like, Scott, you motherfucker. I'm like, Scott, oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Oh, you motherfucker. Bendis, I give you credit. Your writing is fantastic with this. I love Chris Bachalo's artwork in here. Marvel is doing, just how I personally feel, Marvel is doing a great job of making Scott Summers look more and more like a villain every time I see him. Jesus. Alright, we're ending Marvel with Wolverine and the X-Men number 26. Wolverine's estranged older brother, Dog Logan, has returned. I actually forgot about this guy. I used to read Wolverine Origins. Ooh, excuse me. And I forgot about this guy. We get to see his complete we get to see Dog's complete backstory in here, and it's a little stereotypical, you know, the whole drunken dad abusing the son thing. It's been done to death, but still Jason Aaron has found a way to make it complex and really enjoyable to read, even though it is a really tough, even though it is a bit of an overdone cliche when it comes to backstories on certain characters. But and Perez's artwork, I don't hate it. I just wish I could see better from him. There's plenty of pages of artwork in here that I'm just looking at and I'm going, oh, Perez, man, you could have done better than this. You really could have. The artwork sometimes looked a little bit on the rushed side. But then again, that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. I'm not here to start no arguments based on a simple difference of opinion. But oh my god, and even this book, this particular issue points out something I said about this. Points out that Scott Summers is a villain. It's like oh, here, let me see if I can find the page that'll back up what I just said before I slip with the tongue. Hang on just a second. Oh yeah, it's here. It's like Wolverine saying, "Stop this, don't make me put you down." Dog says, "The only reason I'm here is because of you, but not to kill you. I ain't one of them idiot supervillains like Doctor Doom or Cyclops." This issue right here, at least from Jason Aaron's point of view, says, okay, it's official. Cyclops is a supervillain. So there you go. For all you people who says that Cyclops is not a villain, you have the right to your opinion. And if you truly believe that Scott Summers is still a hero, then that's fine. I got no gripes with you. But I'm just telling you right here and right now, Marvel has officially, according to this issue, has officially labeled Cyclops as a villain. I guess it's because at times, I've seen this myself, at times Scott can come off looking like old school Magneto. Mutants and humans will never coexist. I'm here to save mutants, and I'm not afraid to do what I have to do in order to do it, you know, all that stuff. Seems kind of familiar to an old school X-Men fan like me. I mean, it just sounds like old school Magneto when I hear some of the shit that Scott says now. But thanks to this, I can back up my statement from now on saying when I believe Cyclops is a villain now. That doesn't make him a bad character. Just saying. But this issue was good. For what it was, I can't say I'm buying the cliffhanger though. And I'm not going to give that away. The cliffhanger, I'm just kind of like, on, because I can't say anything about it. When it comes to the cliffhanger, I'm just like, I just feel like they could have done better with the cliffhanger. Alright, we're on to DC. We're going to get a whole lot of Requiem going on. Start off with Batgirl, number 18. Ray Fox, no offense, man. I miss Gail Simone. My God, I miss Gail Simone. I can't wait until the next issue when she comes back. My lady, I tip my hat to you. I miss you, Gail. Get back on this book, and we'll be forever grateful. But that doesn't mean Ray Fox did a terrible job. He did a really good job with this. Daniel Sampier's artwork is incredibly well done. However, the only thing about Requiem in here is that it's in just like a couple of pages, or maybe like a page and a half worth of dialogue saying, oh, and Jim, Commissioner Gordon's calling Barbara and says, oh, Barbara, hope you're sitting down. Robin's dead. And Barbara tries to call Nightwing, talk about it. He can't talk about it. And that's pretty much it. That's the only mention to Damian Wayne in this book, which is kind of disappointing. I was wanting to see some more some more dialogue and some more drama from Barbara concerning the death of Robin. But we gotta take what we can get sometimes. We get to see Barbara finally take down the Firebug. I believe that's what he calls himself, Firebug. And we get to see her play more mental chess with her brother, James Jr. Still getting some more of that creepy, incestuous dialogue from James Jr. in here. It's not as creepy as the last issue, in my opinion, but ooh, it is. Yikes. And, oh my god. First of all, the shit that Barbara goes through in here, and she's willing to keep pressing on, that's respectable. Good job with nailing the character development there, Mr. Fox. You did do a good job with that. You know, Barbara had a freaking building collapse on her at the beginning of this book, and she was able to dig herself out of the rubble and keep going. Badass. But the ending, the cliffhanger. Oh my god. James Gordon Jr. I have to say, this son of a bitch could be possibly just as psychotic as the Joker. What he says on the last page, motherfucker, I can't. Wow, just really wow. Oh boy. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Wow. Alright, moving on. Batman number 18. This is Requiem for Batman. Scott Snyder, as my student would say, still making it rain money. And Andy Kubert on the artwork. Yes, yes, yes. He's not the only some other artists did the artwork for the second part. It says Sandra Hope on the cover, but I want to make sure I'm giving the proper artists the proper props here. This goes to show you guys, I don't rehearse this stuff. I just do it on the spur of the moment here. I apologize. Oh, of course, it's on the last page. Duh. No, Sandra Hope was the anchor for the first chapter of this book, but Alex Maleev steps in as the artist for the second half of the book, and we got co-writing from James Tanayan IV for the second half of this book. But what this book basically is another interaction between Batman and Harper Row. Now, somebody told me that Harper Row is also running around in Catwoman. I don't know if that's true or not, 'cause I don't read Catwoman anymore. But if it is true, okay. But when I read this book in here, I'm starting to believe more and more these rumors that Harper Row may end up becoming the next Robin. I think that's with this book. I think that's what DC wants you to believe. Pardon me. I really believe this is what DC wants you to believe. I think DC's teasing you. Could Harper Row make a good Robin because she's showing detective skills? She's able to track Batman down, and she's actually able to confront him, knowing Jesus, the storytelling in here. You think Batman went berserk when Jason Todd died? Get a load of this book right here. He's going nuts since Damian died. I mean, Jason was a simple partner and friend. Damian was his child. And even Harper Row is pointing this out to us, the reader. It's like, you know, Batman, he's not thinking clearly. He's getting reckless. He's doing he's doing to common thugs what he usually does to big time supervillains. And he's wearing himself down. He looks like he hasn't slept in days. And he's running the risk of possibly getting himself killed by some common thugs on the street. And, you know, Harper even confronts Batman on this. And Batman's not just, Batman's in just in a sour, I mean foul mood, and he has every right to be. But, you know, he has to keep his priorities focused or he's going to end up getting killed. And the stuff that I read in here, I was really, really impressed by how well Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV did with the storytelling. And, you know, if this is an indication that Harper Row could possibly be the next Robin, they did a good job by making us think that with this particular issue. That's how I feel. The story was great, the artwork was great, even the second half with the other art with Alex Maleev on the art was great, and the last page was just simply beautiful. Great stuff. Awesome stuff. Could have been the pick of the week, but something beat it out, and you want to know what it is? Guess what? It's the next one. Batman and Robin, number 18. This is my pick of the week. Oh my God. Peter Tomasi, Patrick Gleason. Jesus, this is one of those times where you look at a book and you don't need dialogue for a story like this. DC knew what they were doing when they put this issue together. This is one of those times where I have to give more credit to Patrick Gleason than I do Peter Tomasi. Peter Tomasi gave the direction when he wrote the plot. He didn't write any of the dialogue because there is no dialogue in this book. I'll go ahead and give that away. But Patrick Gleason did a remarkable job telling us the story with his art. Oh my God, this book was fantastic. This isn't the first time I've read a comic book that didn't have any dialogue in it. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but this time, it's a home run. Loved this book. If you didn't get any sentimental feeling after, you know, for Bruce, for Damian, for anybody in the Batman family after reading this book, you got a black heart. My God, this was incredible. You get to see, with just the artwork, you get to see just how tortured Batman is after Damian's passing. He's like going out on patrol. He's hallucinating. He's seeing Damian, and he has to shake it and realize he's not there anymore. Just incredible, incredible storytelling. But what got me, and what made this, after I saw this moment, I knew right then and there that this was going to end up being my pick of the week. When I saw the ending of this book, Bruce finds something that Damian left for him. And then those last couple pages. Jesus. DC, Mr. Tomasi, and especially to you, Mr. Gleason, thank you. This was without a doubt the best issue of Batman and Robin in the New 52. But then again, that is just my opinion. This was powerful. Simply powerful. Thank you, DC. Thank you so much. I feel like I should frame this book. It was so good. Easy 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, moving along. We're going to Green Lantern Corps number 18. This is part 6 of the Wrath of the First Lantern, called Death to All John Stewarts. Now, one thing I will say is the cover only gives you half the plot. The First Lantern is also at the same time torturing Fatality, the Star Sapphire that is involved with John Stewart. And in here, we're seeing the same style of torture John Stewart that Guy Gardner and Kyle Rayner received. Seeing moments from the past and twisting them to make something else happen and really messing with their minds. In here, I think John Stewart, has gotten the worst amounts of torture from the First Lantern out of anybody. All those moments, good Lord, this was good. This was really good. I gotta give some more credit to Peter Tomasi and The artwork from Crisscross was really, really good too. But you get to see, this is not basically just more, you know, what ifs. And the one thing I will minorly spoil, we get to see what John Stewart could have possibly been like if he was an Alpha Lantern. This was nice. This was really, really nice. I'm not going to ruin anything else. All I'm going to say is it has the same plot as Green Lantern, the last issues of the last parts of Wrath of the First Lantern concerning, you know, Kyle and Guy. It's just with John Stewart this time. But I think out of all those parts that showed tortures of Green Lanterns, I think this was the strongest because it showed the most torture. Then again, that's just me. Good stuff here. We're going to end this review without my comic books falling off. We're going to end this review with Suicide Squad number 18. Harley Quinn branches out and Red Orchid pays the price. Harley doesn't really do that much in here. Adam Glass still does a good job with the writing in here. This is basically, the team fighting Red Orchid and Basilisk, I believe that's his name, in here again. And we finally get to see the person that they've got, that the Suicide Squad is supposed to be there to pick up and rescue. And you know what? I'll go ahead and give this away. The person that they're there to save is Kurt Lance. You guessed it. Black Canary's husband. He's still alive. Black Canary's convinced that not only is he dead, but she's convinced that she killed him. But Kurt Lance is still alive. And on top of that, we find out that he has a power as well. Now, what that is, I'm not going to give that away. You'll have to pick this book up and find out. Some really, really good dialogue in here. Some pretty decent action in here. But, I think, just we get some more questions than answers in here. Especially between Deadshot and Basilisk. Where they're both still wondering how each of them can still be alive. Deadshot put a bullet in himself and he put a bullet in Basilisk and they're supposed to still alive. We still don't know how that's possible. Comic book logic, of course. But, yeah. It's, this was really good. It's not the strongest issue of the series, but this was really good stuff, and it ends on a tragedy. It does. It ends on a tragedy, and that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, I have to say that's pretty much it. And I'm still on board with this. It's not perfect, but it's good enough to keep me going on it. And like I said, I love Harley Quinn. So even though I don't like this, I'm fine with this look. I do prefer the classic look, but I'm fine with this look. I just wish her the stuff that's blue or purple, sometimes it's purple, sometimes it's blue, I wish she would just go to the basic Harley Quinn black and red. If the stuff that's blue on her was black, then I'd be fine with it. I'm just nitpicking, of course, but this was a good issue, and I did enjoy it, and I'll just leave it at that. Alright, that's all I got for this week, everybody. I want to thank y'all for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, Blugoblin01, and my other channel, Blugoblin X. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget about Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, or my student, TheMtVernonKid, and of course my loving girlfriend, Lenora2003, and Lenora's Crafts. Love you, sweetheart. Follow me on Tumblr or on Twitter. Either one or both. Doesn't matter. You won't regret it, I promise you. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and until next time, I'll see y'all later.